Tetris, the smash hit puzzle franchise that everyone knows and loves. The NES saw 3 such releases, being 1989's Tetris, the licensed version that is, Hatris in 1990, and Tetris 2 in 1993. There was also the Tengen version, which was released in 1988 and is commonly seen as the best port on the NES. All of these were developed by a Russian man named Alexei Pajinov, and these NES ports were done by Bulletproof Software. The history and the mechanics of Tetris are well documented, but I thought I'd take a look at the main differences in these titles of the franchise. For example, did you know that none of these ports featured the iconic Tetris theme? The Tengen release had a similar sounding track, but it's not the same. The reason the song became so linked to Tetris was because of its appearance in Bulletproof's Game Boy port, which was the iconic pack-in game for the system. If we're being honest though, the 4 NES titles, while beloved by many, don't sit with me as the definitive Tetris. The licensed version is a solid attempt. The absence of a 2-player feature is the main reason that Tengen's version is seen as the better one. Purely on gameplay alone though, it delivers Tetris, but here's the thing. It feels slow and stiff. Sure, the level progression increases the speed that the blocks fall, but to me it just doesn't feel smooth enough. It feels pretty good, but it's not quite as fluid as I like my Tetris to be. Turning the blocks is a chore, and it doesn't feel intuitive like it should be. The same complaint holds with the Tengen release. To me, the pacing and the level progression just seems slow as well. Overall, both get the job done though. Tetris 2 basically ditches the entire formula of the original game for a subpar Dr. Mario clone, wherein matching the colors is more important than fitting the blocks into holes. It's fine to switch things up and all, but it's a laughably bad failure. Also, calling it Tetris 2 was a big mistake. Calling it something else, even if you use the Tetris name, would have been fine. I'm all for a round of Dr. Mario, even though I'm garbage at it, but I prefer Tetris as a time waster. Hatris is well reviled as a terrible spin-off to Tetris, and most see it as dishonoring one of the greatest puzzle games of all time. But you know what? I actually like it best of all the NES titles. I think that it's an amazing blend of the 2 games by having the gameplay be fitting hats into the right spot, as well as dropping them into likewise objects. It's actually a lot more like Yoshi for the NES. It's quite a bit easier, sure, but it gets more intense over time. One thing I do like is when you connect a hat on a higher row, you can still control the other hat momentarily while you get it to go to the row you want. It's a really small but helpful touch. There seems to be a money system of some kind too, maybe unlockables perhaps? Regardless, it's a rather underrated gem in terms of puzzle games on the NES. I love the goofy premise, the presentation, and even the music is better. But hey, what the hell do I know? People love these ports aside from Hatris. Truly though, my favorite Tetris experience, and the one I consider to be the definitive version, is the Game Boy Color version, Tetris DX. The pacing of the level progression is perfect. The colors of the blocks make more sense, saving the high score is awesome, and best of all, it's portable. The movement of the blocks is incredibly fluid as well, and the Game Boy Advance SP's D-pad feels excellent. The rotation is much better too, far less stiff than the NES counterparts. It's the definitive version in my opinion. Tetris continues to be ported to everything under the sun, and its legacy cannot be topped. It made puzzle games a very accessible genre to casual players, and sucked in many non-gamers with its addictive simplicity. In a way, it's the perfect puzzle game too. As far as the NES ports go, I'd give Nintendo's release about an 8, the sequel is about a 5, and Hatris is about a 9. That's all from me, thanks for watching, and remember to keep it classic, and I'll see you in the next one. If you liked this video, be sure to stick around for more. And here's an analysis about Tetris by Matthew Matosis, or if you want more of me, here's my other series of reviews.